This is Simon Torres, Arsenal supporter of Charm City Gooners. You are listening to DU Football Show, and I'm here to tell you that it could be worse. You could be an Everton fan.
It definitely could be worse.
Oh, yeah, well, Simon, how about them boys, okay? Fuck you.
Hey, you know what? You shut the fuck up. The beard's here. Hi. What's going on, guys? I'm in the driver's seat tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to take a big dump all over the Blues. Now let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stuff of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Graham, and across the way from me is my co-host for the evening, Mr. Rob Holmes. How you doing, Rob?
I'm top of the table. I mean, I'm doing great.
That's right. Yes, we are. Anything going on in your world? What's happening?
Oh, you know, I
Anything
mean,
fun?
just relishing in all of what is going good in my life. I mean, Arsenal is top of the table.
That's right.
That's about all I have to say.
Absolutely right. Producer Sam, how are you today, sir?
Giving us a mean look.
Hey, what's going on? You know, either you hit the post or you don't hit the post. You don't elongate the show until we get to the fucking post.
Let me tell you something. Just call me Bakuyo Saka, okay? I took the entire curve in there to find that far corner.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
You just keep telling yourself that, okay, stud?
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside our nation's capital. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there are many ways you can. Mr. Holmes, please tell the good people how they can get in touch.
You can find this lovely show at DU Football Show on all the socials, and you can email us if you'd like at dufootballshow@gmail.com.
Especially Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers can definitely email us whenever he likes.
I'm going to have to call him and get in touch with him.
Yeah, hey, by the way, Sam, you want to punch into that, into the next segment a little bit better, but you're doing all right. Keep up the good work there, stud.
Okay.
Wow.
And we'd like to hit the mute button. It'd be great.
Yeah. He told me before this, he was like, hey, I'm going to be doing the ones and twos, so this is going to be up to you and Graham. I'm going to keep quiet, and this isn't.
Yeah,
it's not
all
off to a
he's
good
done
start.
is
Not off to a
talk.
good
I
start.
know.
My muterus, my choice.
Oh, okay.
Do I need to mansplain it to you?
Let me tell you something about trans camels, okay? They're putting something in the sand. Producer Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry. Rob just partakes a lot. And all three of us have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand during this show and every single show. Rob, what beautiful spirit are we drinking this evening?
We're drinking a 10-word long bourbon. It is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Collaborative Series Plantation Rum Barrel Finished. It comes in at 104 proof. You could find it on the shelves, or you should be, right around $160. And the Whisky Advocate panel rating is 93. And today's blurb comes to you from Jeffrey Lindenmuth from the Whisky Advocate. Bardstown Bourbon Company has proven itself among the most innovative masters of blending and finishing with little regard for tradition. This is not as adventurous as some of their experiments, but it is no less successful. This 10-year-old Tennessee bourbon spent 22 months in plantation rum barrels. The result offers savory herbs balanced with caramel in the nose, flavors of dark chocolate, roasted coffee, and red fruit before a finish with generous baking spices and leather.
Excellent cold reader.
Yeah, he is pretty
Probably
good, actually.
better cold reader than you.
And better than Mel, I was going to say thank you, since I don't actually tout myself as being a good cold reader.
You have done it before multiple times. I'm an excellent cold reader.
I've done it like 3, so cheers.
This is fan-fucking-tastic.
It's excellent. I get a lot of banana up front, actually.
You'll get that from Plantation.
Anything rum.
You
Yeah.
get a lot of banana on the back, too.
I wonder I wonder what the plantation barrel is, because if this was one of their Jamaican barrels, one of the big notes of a Jamaican rum, very specifically, is banana. Banana, because of the esterification process, where basically you allow the yeast cells to eat at the sugars a little bit longer, and that's what gives it that big banana flavor. I do have to say, this comes to us from my good friend Savannah, who works with the Bardstown Distilling Company, and she sent it down to me, and I now owe her one naturally pink pony, so I need to be on the lookout for that, is what I was told the cost of doing business was. I've seen this. Graham, have you seen much of a markup on this? I've seen it upwards to 2 in our market.
I've seen it most of the time around $179.99 is where it's kind of living at the moment.
Enough. Yeah.
And I think part of that has to do with people buying bottles as opposed to cases.
Right, of course.
And you're really just getting that bottle charge added onto it, which, yes, it is a thing in our business, which is why you see sometimes such a wide range of retail pricing. But other than that, no, I haven't seen it gone too crazy. This one seems to be pretty readily available and not a huge deal to find. So what do you think about it? You like it? Enjoy it?
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I just like bourbon, so I'm not as sophisticated
I
as you two
just
gentlemen.
like bourbon.
This would be the second offering on the top 20 from Bardstown.
Bardstown, yeah.
The first year we ever did it, 2019 or 2018, when we did the list for the very first time. The the Fusion series, number 1 was like number 12 or something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, sweet. So let's get into the action, boys. Cheers.
What else are we supposed to do?
That's not my job.
Always responsibly.
There we go.
There we go.
Clued up. All right. Can't really start anywhere else, can we? Didn't think so. The best rivalry the Premier League has ever seen. Arsenal 3, Manchester United 2. What a fucking game this was. I know.
Welcome to the show.
Passive aggressive. Don't mind. Well, I'm just already prepared for the wank fest that is about to occur over the next 30 minutes, and then we'll talk about the rest of the fucking game. So please, by all means, get on your knees, unzip each other's trousers, and start blowing each other. Go to town.
We already did that.
And it was a really fucking exceptional game.
I was gonna say there isn't a video element today, Sam. That wouldn't garner listeners. Okay,
I don't think it would garner listeners if there was a video element.
Who wouldn't want to see this much hair bouncing around? Come on both of our parts.
Yeah, right.
What a game. I mean, Manchester United got the first goal. I don't know if you saw it, and Sam, chime in on this if you saw it also. In the first about 20 seconds, Granit Xhaka gave the linesman a fucking piece of his mind over a throw-in.
Yep.
Then, about 20 minutes in, Marcus Rashford scores. And I don't know about you, I thought, here we go.
Well,
we're playing the occasion, not the game.
My immediate reaction to that goal was from 2 seasons ago. Fuck. This is it. This is it. Like, this is the beginning of what we've come to expect over the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Every time.
Of Arsenal just imploding after a pretty solid start. Giving up a screamer. That was
I was going to say, in all fairness,
that was a great goal.
That was a great fucking shot from Rashford.
Goal.
And Rashford is on fire right now.
But my issue with the whole, just the situationally, it was like we were playing the occasion, not the game. We were so keyed up about it that, you're yelling at a linesman over a throw-in at midfield 15, 18 seconds into a game, and then, there's just
passion, baby. It's passion.
Yeah, is that what they're calling it?
That's what Arteta calls it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. I thought that was more about staying in his box, but in his technical area. But but here we go again, right? I mean, what do we do? I thought the response was excellent. Their goal almost settled us down.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
They panned over to Arteta after the goal, and his immediate response was like, "Cool down, guys. It's okay." Like, and I think that's what I find most attractive about Arsenal right now is they don't panic.
Yeah,
it is literally just stick to the system. We have the players on the field to execute that.
Oh yeah, up until the Newcastle game, we were the only team that hadn't been held scoreless yet in the Premier League.
Yep,
at all, which was awesome. You always feel like we're going to get a goal. You're absolutely right. And echoing that, you saw Odegaard at midfield. Do the same thing, just kind of raise his arms and, hey, it's all right. Come on. Let's just stick to it, stick with it. And Arsenal at that point started to turn the screw a bit and started to really impose themselves on the game. Now, Manchester United in that first half still had chances, but Eddie Nketiah, since he's come in, deputizing amazingly for Gabriel Jesus, he's just been a fucking godsend, to be honest with you, because I was terrified, for one, when Jesus went down.
Yeah, oh, for sure, me too. I think I told you. I was like, I think we're fucked.
Yeah, 100%.
Because their play style is completely different. And Nketiah is very much a mover without the ball,
a poacher,
more so than the Jesus, who is with the ball, is fantastic.
And but does a lot of defensive work off the ball.
True, yeah.
But Nketiah doesn't get through that much work off the ball as Jesus does defensively. Yeah.
Where, like, if you lose the ball, all right. See you,
there's people there for that.
Minutes,
Sam and Sam will take care of it.
Yeah, we know that all too well.
But it's been so. I also think on the left side with Zinchenko and Xhaka moving over there, and then playing with, then you have Martinelli to support that. That ball was perfection from Xhaka on the.
It was excellent.
The header. That's been so much fun to watch with Zinchenko. I love that guy.
100%. So I was talking to Brian about this the other day, and he's like, I'm trying to get my high school team to play like this that he coaches. And so we were kind of, I'm going to nerd out for a second.
He coaches my alma mater, doesn't he?
Spalding's girls, yeah. And so we were, your exact alma mater. So we, sorry. So we were kind of nerding out over it, and I was like, because that extra person in midfield isn't something new necessarily, right? But those overlaps are normally coming from the outside, where you don't see Ben White immediately overlap Saka. It's almost like a diagonal shift, where Xhaka will push straight forward a little bit. Odegaard will get out of that space. Partey moves up and occupies the space where Odegaard was, and Zinchenko cuts in at a 45 into the center circle and goes where Partey was.
Yep.
And no one's ready for it. No one's prepared for that.
And Odegaard,
right, correct. And Odegaard and Saka tend to overlap each other.
Yep.
And then if we keep the ball there for a second, then Ben White joins in. But they almost shift to a back three defensively, where Gabriel will come over, Saliba will be in the middle, and Ben White just stays back and acts as a third center back, essentially, while we're in possession. Until we've, kind of run out of ideas, Zinchenko vacates, and then Ben White then overlaps.
Right.
It's amazing to watch. Teams still haven't quite figured it out yet and how to deal with that extra man in midfield, and it's paying dividends for us.
Yeah, I think the natural progression of any ball coming from the midfielder on the wing is down the line, right? So typically you see that ball played down the line.
Yep.
There were at least 3 or 4 occasions where Ben White had the ball. He's attacking the offensive third, and Saka makes a run inside. And he plays that ball through. He has immediate support from Odegaard.
Yep.
And then Ben White has that opportunity to make that overlap and bring the defenders back out wide.
And create more space.
It's so
brilliant.
It's beautiful.
It's so good. That being said, Manchester United were no slouches. I mean, they held their own in the game. They had chances. Ramsdale that made a fantastic save in the second half.
Yep.
And when Saka's goal, you can't just say enough about it. He did the same exact thing, and one of the pundits I was listening to this today was saying there was something about this particular performance from Saka, and over the course of the season he's done this, cut in on his left foot, drag it one extra touch, and then bend it to that far corner. That's very reminiscent of Arjen Robben. You fucking know it's coming, and you still can't stop it. And it's been excellent to see. Then the equalizer comes. So we're 2-1 up. The equalizer comes, and you go, shit.
Yeah, it's such a weak-ass
Not
ball,
again,
too.
I know. But from the smallest dude on the field, of course, header in the middle of the box. Granted, it was a poor punch, attempted punch.
There was 3 Arsenal defenders there. There should have been better communication to clean that up better.
And that was right after he had just made a worldie.
Right, that was right after. That was right after the.
Just made a worldie.
Right, that was that low save. Yeah,
and then just a. Duh. It's one of those.
That's a good sound for it.
It's one of those ones as a keeper. You're just like, What the fuck was I doing?
That's one of those ones where you get the 90-yard stare from Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Who hasn't moved from the center circle in the last 5 minutes.
Definitely. Quick thought for you guys. You were talking about Xhaka getting kind of worked up at the beginning and it seeming like, oh, shit, this is going to be same old Arsenal. Do you guys feel like, the Arteta's kind of passion is starting to take hold? They're still fiery. They still fuck with people. There's a spine, a backbone, and a fieriness to them. But they've learned how not to get a bunch of fucking red cards, which is what they were doing the last 2 seasons nonstop.
Particularly Gabriel and Xhaka.
Well, the end of the North London Derby is a perfect example. And God bless Mikel Arteta for stopping Xhaka.
100%. He was going to get a 2-year ban.
Yeah, he was going to get something.
He was going to cancel all that motherfucker.
Nothing good was coming from that.
No, but to know his players and to realize that was coming, absolutely right.
It's ingrained in my brain.
And you could see arm around Ramsdale
like,
joking.
Oh, shit,
He shoved him out of the way and fucking ran after him.
Anyways.
Excellent awareness from Mikel Arteta. Yeah. The last kind of part is when we smelled that blood, when we saw that, you saw Arsenal kick it up when I didn't think we had another level. All of a sudden, we hit gear 5, and United couldn't deal with it. We played them off the park.
Yep.
The last 20 minutes was United didn't do anything.
I would say a lot of that goes to the substitution of what is a steal, fucking steal of a signing.
I was telling
with
before
Trossard.
the show, I was like, when he came on and he was Martinelli 2.0.
Oh yeah,
when you have fresh legs,
he's a more mature Martinelli.
Yeah, right.
And he can do it on both sides and up the middle.
Yep.
He can replace Odegaard. He can replace Saka. He can replace Jesus or Ketia. He can play anywhere.
And he was decent as a deep-lying playmaker for Belgium in the World Cup as well. I mean, he played because you had De Bruyne. I mean, who's you going to argue with him playing further forward? Trossard was behind him, remember, next to Axel Witsel or whoever that was, as almost a dual. He was more the box-to-box guy. Trossard was. So you now have this player that can play any one of 5 positions. That's solid, and do any of them particularly well.
You were linked to Midrick, who Chelsea ends up signing for well over 100 fucking million, and now, granted, he was on the last year of his deal, which made him a lot cheaper, and he wasn't going to re-sign with Brighton, and he was out of favor with De Zerbi. You got him for 25, and he's a proven fucking player in the Prem already.
I think it's 32 after add-ons.
That knows how to fucking score. Like,
you can't beat it.
That is you know, again, the checklist. Have a good January transfer would be another check. Get the piece you need. That is exactly the fucking piece you need.
Yeah.
And he's going to be fired up to play for a team that's vying for a title.
Yeah, and I mean, knocking on wood actively, but there's going to be an injury coming at some point. The way that we play, the high pace, I mean, it's going to happen. So it's nice to have.
You would hope the Jesus injury is the one, and we've survived it.
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah. And then we also just signed that Polish right back, Kiwior.
Oh, Pete Wentz, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more emo-looking player since Leighton Baines.
Do you think that's the end of Cedric?
Finally, please.
I saw that.
Sake.
Thank you.
We ship him off to Sampdoria for $2 million. Yeah, God bless it. But then obviously Eddie gets the winner. Fantastic goal, a true poacher's goal.
Fox in the box right there, man. That was definitely a fox in the box.
What I was going to say was one that Van Nistelrooy would have been proud of. You know what I mean? That's a true poacher's finish.
His leg bent in a degree that it shouldn't have fucking bent. Somehow gets a toe on it. That's the one as a keeper. You're like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
One of the other podcasts I listened to is 40-somethings, right? Talking about football. And they essentially, one of them said, for everyone in this room right now, probably would have thrown your hip out if you were even able to bend that way in the first place. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, I'm not sure how he managed to get his foot to it, but he did, and how he managed to stay on side. We were getting ready to leave the house. I told Tegan to turn the TV off because the TV and the iPad were at 2 different times, and the TV was ahead, and I was waiting on Carly to come downstairs. I was finishing washing a dish, and I didn't want to screw up and see something before it, or hear something before I saw it. So Tegan turned off the TV, and I've got the iPad sitting on top, up on the bar area on top of the sink. I'm washing this dish, and when I was like, oh yeah, and Tegan goes, what happened? I was like, we scored, maybe, and I didn't celebrate. Yeah. I was like, well, just because he looked, it's got to be offsides, right? It's got to be offsides. And then they checked both. Zinchenko was a solid yard on, and then they checked Eddie's, and it was a fucking toenail from the same shortest man on the pitch onside. And then I there's still water on my ceiling, and I was like, yeah, get in. It was fucking great, and yeah, I mean that's all she wrote. It was excellent. What's nice though for me is I told you the Premier League is better when Manchester United are good, when Arsenal are good. Chelsea, Tottenham, in the Premier League era have been up and down, up and down, up and down, both of them. Up and down, up and down, up and down. The league's veracity isn't necessarily dependent upon those two. Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, it needs those clubs.
City's only been good for the last 10 years.
Right. But it needs those traditional clubs to be good, to be as powerful as it was. And this was the first time in fucking ages that both of these clubs are on the ascendancy, and both of these clubs are back. And it's no doubt in my mind that it's because it's two young, hungry coaches that came up doing what they did, and it's excellent. And they're almost playing, an old school manager type. They have you can see their tentacles in every facet of their clubs now. And this is going to be a lot of fun to watch for the next 5-6 years, I think.
I agree.
All right. Whew. I feel good. Now we're going to talk about the stuttering in the race for the top 4, which includes everyone down to 14th. Because everyone's only separated.
That doesn't include you, Sam.
Exactly. By about 3 points. So you have Palace and United drawing midweek 1-1. City 0, Tottenham 2. Oh, sorry, that was just the first half. City 4, Tottenham 2. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. That'll probably breeze over that one, to be honest. Leicester City 2, Brighton 2. Palace 0, Newcastle 0. Fulham 0, Spurs 1. So Palace and United midweek, this I thought was a bit surprising given United's recent form, to be honest.
Yeah.
Took a Olise special from all of 30 fucking yards out.
Beautiful free kick.
What a goal.
Yeah.
Considering they've been on a little bit of a slide, and they are also hitting a very, very tough part of their schedule till April, gotta say, this is a good fucking week for Palace with those 2 draws.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good, because that's fucking third and fourth place. That's a good week.
Well, that's ultimately what kept Brentford in the league last season. Remember, when they started sliding, they didn't slide to losses. They slid to draws. And those extra points they picked up mid-season when everybody was hurt were what kept them in the league. Is this what United's going to be now, though? Kind of up and down, dominate for 3 weeks and then have an off game until they can have another, 1 or 2 transfer cycles to really settle their team down. What do you think?
I think we are seeing United getting back to being United, and I was gonna chime in on the first segment, but you were doing a great job closing it out. So there, see, I paid you a fucking compliment. Go home, kiss your wife, tell her Sam loves me now, or whatever it is that you need for daily affirmation. But I think we're starting to reach the point. I gotta get my jabs in now. I know they're fucking coming. So I feel like we are on the verge of seeing Arsenal United being the top teams in the league again, because City is just so hyper focused on trying to win a Champions League.
Yep.
And once they do, does Pep stick around? What are they? How do and you're starting to see some of their cracks in their team, players that aren't necessarily happy, Bernardo Silva types, Gundogan types, guys like that. So there's that going on. Liverpool's on an absolute decline right now. And like you said, there's no consistency to Chelsea / Tottenham. If anybody, I'd give Chelsea the edge because I feel like Potter is going to make it work.
But one of those 643 players actually has to have a good spell at one point or another.
But I would say don't be surprised if the next couple, 2-3 years, it's United and Arsenal fighting for titles like it was in the early 2000s. And there's going to be a lot of, United and Arsenal old soccer geeks, they're going to be fucking losing their mind over it.
Love to hear that.
And
100%.
And you'll also have the rest of us going back to the old thought process of the 30 teams with curse words. Arsenal, Ars, Scunthorpe, well, we know. And fucking Man United.
That's absolutely right. The other thing you have with that is Arteta loves a row on the touchline, and the other guy's Dutch.
Sam, I've heard they're a literal people.
Exactly. I can't wait. It's set up so perfectly.
I think Man United is definitely, obviously, in an upward trajectory. I think they have a couple pieces that are still trying to find their way into the squad. I think Antony, it came out very strong, solid, but he's been kind of slacking last couple matches for them.
In his defense, his first match was against us, and everybody does well against us.
But it's hard. I mean, Rashford's on
fucking fire right now. Yeah.
And then their defense with Martinez, and then Wan-Bissaka is still doing his thing.
Amazing what happens when you get rid of a pompous fucking prick.
Absolutely right. Oh, you know what I did forget to bring up? Gabriel Malagales shared it on his Instagram. Did you see the photo of him standing over Bruno Fernandes and Bruno Fernandes' terrified face? It's like somebody was yelling Portuguese at him, and he's like, fuck, Ronaldo's back.
Motherfucker's got PTSD.
Yeah. Looked great. But Gabriel shared it on his own Instagram and said, there is no victory without fight. It's like, yes. And then it said ... thank God. That's what you want to see.
Real quick, we got to go back to this real quick. Hashtag pro Arsenal agenda. Saka's celebration, the same as Rashford's.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I said that.
You know what? I'm going to let that one pass. I'm all about quality shithousery, and that was shithousery at its fucking finest.
I shared that on DUFC, on the closed group, Drunken United FC on Facebook. Make sure you find it. Where Arteta would say, in the dressing room, a hypothetical. Hey, guys, somebody do something to get inside the other team's head, over the last couple of seasons. Xhaka goes, got it, boss, no problem. It's a fucking 2-footed mid-thigh. All right, boss, did I do red, obviously. Oh, boss, I did. That's not the fuck I meant. I meant getting their mind, not their bloodstream.
All right. I got you, boss. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw off my fucking captain's armband when they're booing at me. Those are our supporters.
That doesn't work. You don't want to get in their heads. No.
I fucking defended Xhaka through that.
You did.
I would just like
absolutely, you did. You're right. You burned a different jersey. And then that's not what I meant. Does anyone else have any ideas? And then Saka goes, nothing more to say here. Got it, boss. Yep. Then he goes out and does Rashford celebration. I fucking love it.
Anyway,
yeah.
Back to United, I guess.
Just to keep you on track, it is United Palace that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's the first of 5 games. It's the first of 5 games in this segment, so we might want to keep the old bus moving there.
No, so the
bus driver.
What I mean is until Ten Hag only came in the summer. Yeah, Arteta's obviously been there for a couple of years now. We've had 3 transfer windows under him and cleared out some dead weight, brought some people in. Ten Hag hasn't had that much time. Is this what United's going to be until they have a couple of transfer windows to really get what they want? Is this kind of, they're going to be excellent for 3-4 weeks and then, turn around and have a draw against Palace away for literally no reason?
Right.
I just think that's kind of, that inconsistency is going to kind of be a thing.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I hope that sticks. I mean,
yeah, no shit. Last point I'll make on this one is Wout. Can we just take a quick vote? Wout Weghorst is the absolute definition of failing upward.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the eyes have it. All right, so City Tottenham on Thursday.
Put the tall lad in.
Yeah, exactly right. City Tottenham. This was wild. 4 goals from City in the second half, obviously. One of the best individual performances from a player this season in Riyad Mahrez was absolutely fantastic. First half.
Touching all 4 goals, right? He had 2 assists, 2 goals. Something like
that? I think he had a hockey assist for the other goal. Okay. It was registered as 2 goals, 1 assist.
Gotcha.
I was all prepared. I was going to beat Lindsay. I was all happy. It was 2-0. I was like, I got this shit. I'm actually going to win a fucking fantasy game. Thanks, Riyad Mahrez. Especially that last garbage goal is what cost you to fucking get the W over me.
Exactly right.
Not bitter at all.
It's all going wrong under Antonio Conte, correct?
Well, did you see the reports today?
Yes, I did. I was hoping you saw it and would bring it up.
Happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what did those reports say?
From what I can see, they are not going to be renewing Conte's contract after the summer is up.
Great minds think alike. Conte not to be re-signed.
Yeah.
All of us were like, yeah, we're going to talk about this.
How much of it has to do with what came out about Juventus over the weekend, do you think?
Oh, did you hear?
No, maybe.
Chelsea's supposedly putting a bid in to buy the 15 points from Juventus.
Wait, Sam, corruption in Serie A? No, say it isn't so. What an honest and forthcoming league. Of course, there would never be any issues in Serie A.
They would never sell their points to Chelsea.
You know what I heard? Deal was worth $80 million up front, and then if the 15 points got Chelsea Champions League football, Todd Bowley would sign over a 10% stake in the club to get the deal across the line.
Oh man!
Remember, I'm a Giants fan. Todd Bowley owns the Dodgers, so I am loving the just moronic bullshit that's going on at Chelsea. I'm like, yep, just like a fucking Dodger.
That's all right. They'll make the money back with the Premier League All-Star game. Yeah, but I wonder if anything has to do with... Now, Italian football's run a bit different. Most clubs are run where it's not a manager per se, it's a head coach. They literally have no say really in transfers. They give a profile of a player that they want. Like, I would like them to be technically gifted, forward-thinking, and whatever, and then the directors go do what they do. And there's always been a lot of creative bookkeeping, which we've talked about many times on this show, which is why so many players have played for Inter and AC Milan, or Inter and Juve, or all three, or whatever. I mean, there's something you don't see in England very much.
Zlatan played for all fucking 20 clubs in Serie A.
Something like that, yeah.
Houston, I'm gonna do you a favor. We're gonna get the bus back to where it belongs.
Oh, here we
But
go.
I think it is funny that we were talking about Spurs and we'd rather talk about fucking
Yeah, I mean, they were terrible.
Serie A.
They had a great 8-minute spell.
Good handle in the wheel there. That's a nice right-hand
it's just
turn.
a
Well done.
little-
All right, sorry, I just dozed off for a minute because we were talking about Italian
I mean,
corruption.
I don't want
It's
to fucking
something
talk about Spurs either, but
near and dear to my heart. No, but Tottenham had a great 8-minute spell right out to close the first half out.
Yeah.
And you thought, oh, fuck, City after what happened at the weekend, and like, are they going to be... This could be great for us. And I'll never say I want Tottenham to win, but I did want City to lose this game. And because I really don't see Tottenham as a threat. City obviously got it together. We already touched on that aspect, and just what a fantastic performance. But how does it either doesn't start well for Spurs and then they come back in the second half and tie, or it started in this game is the only example really where it started pretty damn well and then they fell apart. What is it? What's going wrong? What is it under Conte that they can't fucking do? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, that's a great question.
Because they have good players.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't really care.
And in
to be honest, as long as
fair.
it
And in the
happens.
middle of all of it, you have Harry Kane has 16 goals, just scored today against Fulham.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys are going to have a certain slanted opinion because of your feelings about Spurs. I would say the same when you're going to talk about Liverpool, of course. Spurs, at some point you have to point the mirror back at yourself because you've had good managers. Now, granted, defensive managers that aren't handling the offensive just super weapons that they have, they can't seem to figure it out. And that's been the last couple of managers in a row. But at some point, the players just don't know how to win.
Yeah.
It's what it really comes down to. And Tottenham as an organization has to look at what they've had, which is arguably a golden generation for them, and they've failed miserably. It can't always be the coach's fault. Sometimes it is, but in this instance, like, you've had enough good managers come through, and it's the same thing every time. It's fourth, maybe fifth, not anything it's not anything that makes you go, okay, yeah, this team's on the way up. Like Arteta and Ten Hag, these are teams that are on the way up. You could see a philosophy being built in, and it's just not there with
They cut
The disparity in the
Pochettino
table is
short.
also crazy because we're going to talk about Everton later, and they're only 6 points from 14th or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Liverpool is in 9th, and they're only 7 points behind Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham has a chance to not even be in the top 10 if they don't. They won today, but
Right. If they continue to behave in this manner, you're absolutely right.
Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, Liverpool, Chelsea, all behind them. Not in good form. Well, the majority of them not in good form. Or
Right.
Like I said, like you said, they're stuttering at the moment.
Everybody, exactly.
But
This
if they
whole
pick up the
weekend was a
pace and
stutter
they
start.
start getting points, then Tottenham's in trouble.
100%. I have a job swap idea. Mushiri wants a new stadium. Tottenham have a new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Levy loves to take a mediocre club and keep them mediocre, but keep them in the league. Mushiri loves buying shit for no reason. Levy doesn't, but the Spurs supporters do. Just trade the clubs. Just trade the owners.
Yeah, but we're already building the fucking stadium.
Yeah, but it's not done yet. Levy could get you a good price on a bar downstairs where you fill your own beers up.
Oh, there we go.
You save money on hiring bartenders. I think this works out for everybody, in my opinion.
Don't disagree, because I'm not exactly fans of my board right now. We'll get to that.
Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. I mean, what a terrible first half.
Wait, Sam. Were you aware that this was a battle of mid-table clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't like NBC Sports didn't say it 267 times. And then when they threw it to the fucking broadcasters, it's not like they didn't say it 530. Every 5 minutes, we're like, yeah, well, it's just a battle between two mid-table clubs. I'm like, there's still two big fucking six sides. There's still two fucking massive, like, stop. Just, you kind of insult fucking mid-table clubs by going, oh yeah, just a battle of two mid-table clubs. Fuck you. They got resources well beyond what what Brentford or Brighton or fucking or you know.
Todd Bowley has spent over £500 million since he took over last summer. That's higher than the GDP of most countries. Fuck's sake. Yeah, so really bad first half, obviously. Nobody wanted to watch it. It was absolutely pitiful. Second half, though, Liverpool kind of turned the style on. But Kepa did enough to keep them in the game. Yeah. And then you had Mudryk come on and, kind of dance and weave his way to a 0-0 draw in his first game. Fantastic stuff. Any more on that one?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Just an excellent analysis of a mid-table match, by the way, boys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Leicester 2, Brighton 2, which actually was far more entertaining than that game. They started to get back to the basics here against, as if they were a newly promoted team, Leicester, just all 11 behind the ball, really, and just stopped up Brighton's passing lanes until they found an opportunity to get forward.
Yes, agreed. Hi, Robbie. How you doing back there?
Hi.
He just leaned back. He was like, I'm just going to read
the notes.
Quick. This is an interactive thing. We all kind of talk together. Graham, I hate to say it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later when we get to Oso. I'm watching this match. I'm checking in on this match, and I'm actively rooting for Brighton to find 3 points because... Not because I expect my team to win, but just because I need everyone else around me to not get points.
I would like a little Brighton jaunt into Europe. I think it'd be fun to watch.
Be very fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here were the things the player you were worried about losing was Trossard. You've lost him. You're doing fine without him. You've been doing fine without him for a while now. Mm-hmm. And if their organization knows how to find diamonds in the rough for a good fucking price, when they get a little extra money, they're going to find some great pieces.
Ferguson was playing in like the third tier of the Irish League or something.
Scored again.
Was on loan last season, maybe in the third tier of the Irish League. I think he was owned by Bohemians. It was actually a big Irish club, but it's an Irish club still, so it's not very big. And he's coming in and scoring goals. I mean, 3 and 4, 3 and 5 games, whatever it is now for him.
Goals, assists, holding up play
everything.
As well. He's doing it. He's doing it all.
Can we expect this from Leicester going forward, do you think? Just getting back to the uber basics of fucking defend until we feel comfortable enough to stretch our legs?
No, I don't feel comfortable. I still think they're in trouble with that.
I think they're in trouble too. I'm talking about their gameplay.
Maybe. Like 14 down. It's really hard to say anybody's good from 14 down. They're all really, really bad.
I'm waiting to see if those veneers start to get stained from cigarettes and coffee staying up late. See if Brendan Rodgers' teeth start to wane as a result of it. But this performance from Leicester did seem to have a bit more purpose than the last few, and that is, at least is a positive sign. James Maddison came on back from his injury finally, which is a good thing. So, and then moving on to Palace 0, Newcastle 0. what is going to fix Newcastle's goal drought? Was Miguel Almiron's start to the season an enigma? Or do you think he's going to be able to continue that form? Isak back from the injuries, only made a couple of cameos, obviously not match fit. Do we think he's going to solve the issue? Because that's a couple games in a row now where Newcastle have failed to score.
I think they will. I think both of them are going to start producing again. You have to look at like Newcastle in past seasons. They've never been this high on the table in recent past.
Absolutely.
So I think they're going to have some growing pains with their performances. But I mean, Isak, when he came to Newcastle, was an immediate hit, at least for the first couple games. He scored a couple goals.
Then he got that injury.
And then he got hurt. So I think he's just working his way through that back into the squad. And then, Almiron is Almiron. I think he's just a streaky player, and he just had a hot streak.
Yeah, so he's just in his downtime. I mean, the World Cup, he's one player where the World Cup didn't really do him any favors.
Right.
He scored one goal, I think, since we've come back to play in the Premier League. But obviously before that was their big saving grace at eight or whatever it was in those opening 16 games or whatever it was before we broke.
So 2 points here. First off, with when you say, hey, Newcastle isn't scoring goals, it's also worth mentioning they haven't given up a goal in 7 fucking matches in a row.
Absolutely right.
Like,
they're the only teams that kept us out. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
They have been just throwing up shutouts left and right. So the one thing is you go, okay, well, they're maybe not winning matches, but they ain't losing, which is good. And they're finding ways. I mean, they're not impressive 1-0 or 2-0 wins, but they're wins.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we know the pockets are there. They're in cup competitions. They're out of the FA Cup, but they're in the semifinals of the League Cup with a favorable draw with Southampton. And you know they're going to buy the pieces. If there's pieces they want or need, they'll fucking get them.
I want to know how much the good people at Budweiser accepted from Kieran Trippier for the Man of the Match awards. Because if you looked on the Premier League app for their last 15 games, I guarantee you he's has the most Man of the Match awards this season when it really should be going to Nick Pope.
And also guarantee that you said that last week too.
I'm trying to make a point, Sam.
Say it the next 3 weeks in a row, and
I will.
And you'll hit your 5 check mark that you look for.
Exactly right, 100%. And then to close out these stutter steps is Fulham 0, Spurs 1, and Harry Kane equalizing the late Jimmy Greaves goal total for Spurs at 266, I think it is, which is good for him, I guess.
Yawn.
I thought Fulham actually played very well in the game, just couldn't finish any chances off.
First half hour, they were
excellent.
the best team.
Yeah, hands down. I thought they were good throughout the game, really. I mean, Tottenham allowed them to have the ball because the best thing they do is counterattack.
Yeah.
And Fulham rather did what they needed to do with the ball. They just couldn't. The only thing was couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
You say it all the time, Sam. Don't give up a goal right before the half.
Yeah.
That can
And that's
destroy
exactly
you.
what they did. Yep.
And it just killed them. And
And unfortunately, it was a nice goal.
On Tim Ream as well, which makes us feel extra salty.
And well, with Harry getting that goal, the other thing you have to remember there too is that he's going to set a ton of records for scoring and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, again, are we looking at a golden generation of Tottenham Hotspur that will accomplish fucking nothing? And I'm starting to say, like I don't even see where they're going to win a cup, like a League Cup or an FA Cup.
Well, they would have
they
until
won that.
Jose fucked off the week of the final.
They won the Audi Cup.
Yeah, it's good. All right, great. So
we won the initial Florida Cup because you guys had this whole COVID thing that you wouldn't come out for, so you can never take that away from me.
I mean, Fulham had possession that game.
Oh yeah, they were Fulham were on top of it.
They're going to be top 10, I think.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with that. I really like what Marco Silva's down there doing.
Makes
Sorry.
me happy. My dad's.
I gave him credit last week. I mean, when they beat Chelsea in the West London Derby, it was 1,000% Marco Silva's managing, and he has been perfect for Fulham. And it's good that he's been with them for a while now. Where let's face it, when he was courted by Everton, he was coaching for fucking Watford.
For Watford, yeah.
And everybody knows you're not. I mean, the minute there's 3 or 4 bad results, you're getting fired at Watford. That's just how they roll.
Yeah.
And so it didn't surprise me that his head got turned. He feels comfortable with fucking Fulham. Fulham loves him, and you can see the culture, the footballing culture is there with this team. And the only difference between the team that went up and down and then the team that is here currently ultimately is the manager, and he's getting a song out of his players.
Yeah, absolutely. So that actually answers the last question I had on this game was, will Fulham kick on? And it sounds like we think they will.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm with that. Thank God we're done talking about the Premier League's version of Belgium, Tottenham. Jesus Christ. We'll talk about wasting a golden generation, Sam. Hey. So some of those results, obviously, that we just went over.
Golden age generation.
Had something to do with the bottom of the table as well as we get into, so that happened. That, I think, is improvement on how you do it. Little extra pause, dramatic effect. Bournemouth 1, Forest 1, West Ham 2, Everton 0.
Mute button, Sam. Mute. Ones and twos. Ones and twos.
Your mic too, by the way. Southampton 0, Villa 1, City 3, Wolves 0, Leeds 0, Brentford 0. Go ahead.
He's still staring at him.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Here we go. All right. What was it? Code 9. What they call? What was that? From A Few Good Men.
Code Red.
Code Red. Yeah, we need a Code Red.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Sanchez, you'll be seeing your Code Red tonight. Don't worry about it. don't. You won't be packing up to tell anybody you're coming home.
Forrest has obviously been racking up some points of late. Has Cooper figured it out? We think. Did and this actually isn't a dig. This, I think, Sam, is a fair comparison. But Rob, do you think Steve Cooper utilized the time during the World Cup to work with his squad where Frank Lampard did not?
I mean, I think that's an obvious answer.
I do think they've had a good run with the table. I think as they start to play some of the top half of the table competition, you'll start to see them slide again. I think they're doing exactly what Bournemouth did early on. And then the minute Bournemouth started facing some tough opposition,
just crushed their confidence.
So I'd like to see them. I'll believe that they're doing it when they pull off they play Brighton and they get a draw. And you go, okay, that's a tough team. They figured that out. And they're also very one-sided. It's a lot of their results are coming at home too.
Well, I thought they finally found their best 11 after the few results before. And then, Chris Wood arrives. They sign someone else. Goddamn Forrest.
I believe that's the 54th person they've now signed.
It was only half of what Todd Bowley's brought in.
They beat Palace before the break, which was a big win for them.
That was huge.
And
absolutely.
They lost the
Palace has been
Manchester
on a slide, though.
United. Yeah, slide. Well, not recently.
Well, until those two draws, they were on a bit of a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
They drew Chelsea, which is whoop. Beat Southampton and then beat Leicester before this draw. So, I mean,
absolutely
doing something right.
Does Chris Wood make a difference to this team? I think maybe a bad difference, in my opinion. I think that he's going to change. He's less mobile. I think they're going to change the way that they play, which they're just starting to figure it out. I don't know if I like it necessarily. However, Awoniyi's not a point man, and they were screaming out for a point man. Chris Wood is a point man.
It just allows them to, if Cooper's a good coach, it gives them an opportunity to shift up formations. But I think ultimately Awoniyi and Ben Johnson are meant to be two strikers together. Like it should be a 4-4-2 should be the system if those two guys are out there. But you can, if you need to, quote unquote, put the big fella in. Wood helps you with that.
Yeah, fair. We going to do any wood tree puns, or are we just going to leave it? Just leave it? All right. West Ham 2, Everton 0. Everton were on top for much of this game, actually. Just didn't look dangerous at all. I think.
What were they on top of?
The game.
Oh.
I mean, they had 68% possession or something, 67.3 or something like that.
Until the goal, it looked like two teams that didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
Just basically, it was middle of the field passing around.
You said that morning.
Yeah. It just what it looked like, and then the first goal was just a fucking travesty from the defense. I mean, it was just fucking horrid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. I mean, and the two goals, I think Pickford's almost directly to blame for.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's been fantastic, and he's been the reason why we've gotten the draws and the wins that we've gotten have been because of him.
It's been because of him.
So it's hard to really give him too much shtick for having a bad goal, you know, but it still was his fault.
I think that, you know, Everton.
I think there's a lack of creativity to create
100%.
scoring chances, and I mean, I think you guys were outshot 11-5, I think, with twice less possession.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole second half when Frank made the subs, we dominated possession. Now, granted, at that point also Moyes is going, I got a 2-0 lead. I'm going to sit back and soak up the pressure. But still, West Ham had more shots than Everton in the second half.
At that point, yeah.
In the second half, they ended up having more shots than them too.
So what I was trying to find the words to say that I think I've now figured out is we've spoke about, you know, well, at least everybody around you drew or lost this weekend. What the problem comes in is Burnley ultimately stayed up when they stayed up because of the draws that they got. They're at least putting points on the board where Everton at this stage are not putting points on the board at all. And you get, I told you, bring in Sean Dyche, you get 6 draws by the end of the season. That's good for 6 points. You're in 14th because everybody from 14th down is garbage. Is that the fix? Because this morning, and this is another travesty I can't believe happened. I knew about Frank Lampard sacking at 9:15 this morning. During the Tottenham game this afternoon, listening on Sirius XM, Everton finally released a statement that Frank was officially sacked. Mm-hmm. And 4 or 5 coaches were leaving. Leighton Baines is taking training with another assistant until they find a coach. What is the disconnect here? Why does the media and us know about everything before the board says anything? Why is the board not trying to control that narrative like they did about the threats?
Oh, you mean the threats that there was no credible fucking information from the police, that there were no actual threats reported to the police? You mean the headlock that Denise Baxterdale claims that she was put into that is now going, well, I just didn't want to bring any attention to it. Oh, you wanted to bring attention to it 2 hours before the match at Southampton, at home against Southampton, that you guys weren't showing up for. They are legitimately anger is what I had watching the West Ham match. Not because there was no creativity from Everton, because there wasn't. Not because Frank had lost the team. He had lost him a while ago. It's because I'm watching 4 pompous assholes with straight faces in the upper deck of the Olympic Stadium standing there looking around like, you know, the castle's burning. They're holding the fucking torch and they're going, who set the castle on fire? Like, it's fucking idiocy. And then for after the match, someone from Sky Sports goes to interview a few of the board, Mashiri and Ken Wright specifically. And Ken Wright's answer is, oh, yeah, it's a bad time right now. It's a bad time. Have a fucking answer! You know? Then Mashiri, what's going on with Frank? That's not my decision. You own the fucking team! Like, what? The actual fuck. It's almost like there is an active want from this board to see the team go down, because they are actively working against
the interest of the club.
Interest of the club. And then when the fans get upset about it, they're like, well, you're why we fired Rafa. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, it's just they want to turn and point everything at the fans when the
fans kept them up last season.
Exactly. The only reason
they're in the Premier League is because of the fans.
And it just,
and Anthony Gordon.
It is so, well, in Pickford, it's so fucking angering.
Trash.
I'm joking.
Yeah, that the end of that season was all Pickford. But
totally deserved to be goalie over Ramsdale in the World Cup.
It's so aggravating and angering. Just see what my club is doing, and there's nothing trying to stop it. Like, and I talked about last week how I kept saying there was always teams worse than us. There's no teams worse than us right now. We're the worst team. And I mean, there are teams that haven't gotten any points at all. Like Southampton hasn't gotten any points since the World Cup. We at least got one. Woo, that magical draw against City, because that means something now. Like,
right. Well, Southampton did get 3 points against you.
Right.
Since the World Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a few others who haven't. I think Bournemouth hasn't gotten a point, and there was one other that hasn't gotten a point either. It might have been West Ham until they beat us over the weekend. But it just, I don't even know what to think anymore of my club, and all I can hope is, frankly, I don't know who it is they're going to sign. I would hope that it's Kevin Thewell's fucking decision, because he is the director of fucking football, and the board and the owner need to get out of the way and let the fucking football people do the football work. And you hope that they give him at least a couple of pieces, but with a week and a half left in the window, what the fuck are we going to do?
That's all going to be panic buys or loans.
And you know, I mean, I'd be fine with loans if the loans keep us up. That's, you know, because ultimately I don't want to see my fucking club go down.
Of course.
That's really the long
absolutely, 100%.
So, I'm going to stop ranting.
No, you're good. And I mean, I said this. I'll end this little bit of it with, you know what? Once again, to make Arsenal.
By the way, that's me cracking a new bottle of Malort.
When you,
I feel like that's gonna be empty by the end of the season.
when another one, when you, he's already finished one,
Call him DJ Khaled.
and another one.
This is how I feel about it. Nice big hefty pour.
That's a
like
big.
last week.
That's 2 shots.
Well, I mean, I did the
Shot for each West Ham goal.
Well, last week I downed like 4 ounces straight from the neck. When we did our emergency pod with Ryan, I think I was drinking Malort on the rocks because
Out of a pint glass, I think it was.
Yeah. So
While you take that,
cheers, boys. At least the Gunners are in first place. Woo.
what I will say is, when you see Manchester United supporters happy that they have the Glazers, and when you see Arsenal supporters happy that Kroenke's their owner, because even when times were good, both of our supporters still protested both of those owners. When you look at Everton and we all go, "Whew, thank God we're not them,"
Yeah.
you know you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what it boils down to. Southampton 0, Villa 1. Villa keep on rolling. Why couldn't Unai Emery do this with Arsenal with better players? What happened? Just it kind of annoys me a bit. It's really weird. I guess it's just unlucky being Arsene Wenger's successor. They're currently at 11th, but they're just 3 points off of a potential Europa League spot, and they look much better than they did under Gerrard. Do we think Gerrard will get another chance at another club, or are people, after what's happened with Frank, going to go, not so sure?
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Frank get another fucking chance in the Prem. It wouldn't surprise me.
Interesting.
I think you definitely see Gerrard get another chance in the Prem. I think that's absolutely the case.
Everton?
No.
He's being touted, I've heard.
Oh, boy.
This is a short walk from his old house.
Hey.
Don't worry. We're going to fuck the next appointment up. It won't be made by Thewell.
Rob, do you think selling Danny Ings, though, is going to be detrimental to Villa's European aspirations?
Danny who?
Ings.
That's a joke.
Bad
Bad one, yeah.
Here's what it feels like breaking. Danny Ings already got injured for West Ham.
Yep.
Yeah, I have him on fucking fantasy, you fucking asshole. Wasn't doing shit anyways.
Smokey tagged us in that on Facebook. Did you see that? He said, here's the update. Sign him on Friday, 20-minute cameo Saturday. Monday, announce he's injured for misses the next 2 games.
Which is almost a month, right?
Essentially, yeah. Basically.
Something worth mentioning. Now, I'm glad
Stupid.
that VAR gave a very soft foul, but I don't know if that was necessarily a foul on the Ward-Prowse goal that got
On
taken
El
away.
Yunusi.
100%.
I mean, it was
weak ass call.
Yes.
It was a
He barely
shove.
fucking touched
It was a
him.
shove, but it wasn't. I don't think it was enough.
He was looking for the contact.
I don't think it was enough. I'm glad. I mean, trust me. I'm watching that game and I'm going, please Villa fucking score. Please Villa fucking score. Because if they didn't score, we were bottom of the fucking league. Yeah. And I was sitting there going, come on, Forrest, fucking hold on to the 1-0 win, and come on, Brighton, get the point. At least get the point. Don't let them get anything more than a point. And then the very next day, I'm rooting for fucking Leeds to lose to Brentford. I'm rooting for Wolves to lose to City. That's like, I should be rooting for my own team to have success, and I was actively rooting for everybody around me, like really actively rooting for them to
fail.
Yeah. Oh, we could tell. Our group chat was nothing but you saying,
Come on, please hold on to this. Please hold on to that. Don't do that. Forrest, score.
Yes.
and not a single fucking word about the Everton game.
Nothing.
There's nothing to fucking say. I mean, there was nothing to say about that game. It was like, all right, they made the changes at halftime. They put up one good cross. Nothing came of it. And then West Ham just saw it out. It was, ugh.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of manufactured funniness in this show so far, right? Because this weekend really didn't toss up anything funny. Here, it actually did. Game was stopped for around 15 minutes because of a drone breaching the walls of the stadium in the air. Okay, fair enough. Security purposes. Call the police. What do? All right, we're going to go find it. Drone disappears back out of the stadium. No word from the police. What do? New drone comes in. Found out later, it's the police drone. Everybody on the field goes, what drone is that? Is that the first drone? Is this a new drone? Who owns the drone? What do? It was like the Spider-Man meme where the three Spider-Men are pointing and looking at each other like because the multiverse just came crashing in on itself. I found that very enjoyable.
Yeah, that was funny.
Idiots. You see the stadium go, fuck, there's there's another one. What do? Which is great. And then you had City 3, Wolves 0. No real surprises in this one here. Wolves looked pretty sturdy in the opening 20 minutes, but once the goal came, that was pretty much it, wasn't it?
Rare mistake from Saul on that third goal. He's
Yeah.
been pretty solid for Wolves so far.
And you could see him just like, fuck.
Yeah, and you also had, you gotta remember, so Pep sat De Bruyne last week,
Right.
and he's back
So he
today.
was rested, yeah.
Or, sorry, yesterday. Was it today?
No, it was yesterday.
yesterday.
It was yesterday morning.
He had an assist, and he looked good. So maybe was that like a wake the fuck up kind of bench?
Could be. Did you hear what he said about Riyad Mahrez after the Tottenham game? I thought that was kind of harsh. He said, yeah, we didn't have him the first half of the season, but now that the World Cup's over, he's our boy again.
Wow.
You see how he's playing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, whoa.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird.
Has
anybody checked? Has he dyed his hair again? Is he looking for a transfer?
outside observation, KDB has become very cynical. He's getting a
Mouthy.
lot of yellows for really kind of harsh tackles.
And he's
in the
cutting
middle
a
of the
very
pitch.
frustrated figure. Like his body language is bad.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
Hey, JB, do you want to trade back me Phil Foden for KDB?
Phil Foden had an oversized hoodie on that was like checkered in the stands, and he just looked like a 16-year-old. He already looks young
It
as
doesn't
shit.
matter
but-
what he wears. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this looked like he was in the halls of Bowie High School back in the day. Okay. And that bring up Holland, 25th goal of the season. Hat trick.
Unreal.
I mean,
Pays for 50. Unreal.
it's, what are you going to say?
Talk about it.
It's nuts.
He ain't no Dixie Dean. It's the only thing I have to fucking hold on to. Let me hold on to fucking something. Fuck you
It's
both,
so
okay?
bad. He's bringing
Wait
up the
a
top goal
second.
scorer from 1938.
Wait, did you start growing your hair after City signed Holland?
No, before.
Okay.
Before.
Eerily similar haircut.
Come on. All right.
Anyways.
Well, good. Leeds 0, Brentford 0. I didn't watch it.
Huh?
There's only 7 minutes of highlights. There wasn't anything that happened.
Really here.
I forgot they played.
Good shutout for Leeds. They
You could use a clean sheet, yeah, but
they pushed the tempo. It was more them than Brentford. I think Brentford was like, okay, we're in Ellen Road and this is a tough place to fucking play. We're gonna get the fuck out of here with a with a draw. And
well, Leeds they were the only team with a shot on target. They had 5, and
Raya played real well.
Raya. I always get Raya,
Raya and
Sa, and Sanchez all fucking mixed up.
2 of them are Spanish. One of them's Portuguese.
I know that. But anyway, when you only have a 7-minute highlight package on a network that likes to wank themselves off on their highlights, and a minute 30 of the 7 minutes was introducing the teams, I don't really know what else to say about the game now. Because there wasn't much to go on.
There is, well, the cock and the wang are always interesting things to talk about. The one story coming out of Leeds is that key players in the squad have lost faith in Marsh.
Nice. Tyler Adams looked the proper shit house for the couple of times he got the ball on the sideline. Started a little bit of a row and shoving match and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, he did well to contain himself, but yeah, things don't. This was a good draw after a string of pretty poor results for Leeds, but I just don't know what I don't know what they're going to be going forward. Patrick Bamford scored a couple of peaches against Cardiff in the replay for the FA Cup midweek. Why hasn't he featured in the Premier League sense? Like, what's happening?
He's been getting subbed in, and that's about it. But the good news for Leeds is they're going to fuck it off to whoever wins between Aki and the Wood.
Probably. You're more than... Yeah. Chris Wood? Oh, no. Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
There's too many Woods.
The real Wood.
It's like a weird provincial gangbang. All right, yeah, that's it for the league, man. So let's get on to the betting.
Sure money.
There's better ways to end segments than that, I just want to say. I mean, that was pretty weak. I mean, you could have ended it on the Wood remark. That was, that was a good one to end it on. In fact, I'm going to write that down as a possible title for the show, even.
What, not provincial gangbang?
I'm not so sure Apple Podcasts would be a fan of that one. Kitty decided to pull an us and also lose, so all four of us lost.
Sweet.
And no bets because it's the FA Cup next weekend, and we'll in touch with Pat next week, and we'll do all that shit then.
In case you're keeping track at home, just so you know, I'm 0 for 19. I'm down $1,900.
Maybe Kitty needs to reach out to the reason that Kitty is Kitty for some betting advice. Maybe Mike Rogers needs to play some bets.
Heard. I mean, you can never get enough Mike Rogers.
Patrick O'Houlihan might have something to say, too.
I'm sure he's a proper punter.
Yeah.
Championship corner.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
I know it's normally my job, but Rob's doing my job tonight. So here is Championship Corner.
Yeah, we got Burnley beat West Brom 2-1. Watford tied Rotherham 1-1. Norwich beat Coventry 4-2. Striking match with QPR and Swansea 1-1. Sunderland beat Middlesbrough 2-0. Millwall 1-0 over Cardiff. And Stoke with a drubbing against Reading 4-0. And we're looking at so top six. We got Burnley, Sheffield, Watford, Blackburn, Norwich, and Middlesbrough. Top six right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing Middlesbrough back.
Burnley's on a heater.
Oh yeah, big time.
Hey,
5 in a row.
Hey, it's not something you can eat. It's Norwich, not Norwich.
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 You're one to correct somebody on pronunciation.
Yeah, fuck off. Can't even pronounce half your own team.
I need my moment. That's all I have to hold on to.
Right.
Bottom three: Huddersfield, Blackpool, and Wigan.
Ooh, Huddersfield fell back into the relegation zone again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing out of the playoff clubs there. I wouldn't mind seeing Middlesbrough come back up. It's been a good old long time since they've been in the Premier League.
About like 6 years, yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them back up.
I mean, so Middlesbrough right now is tied with Luton Town and Millwall.
I could go with Millwall.
We
Millwall
all
in the Prem.
We all
as long as West Ham stay up. I'm not trading West Ham for Millwall.
We don't want to see Millwall come up, but we want to see Millwall fucking West Ham, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what we especially. It's not so much that we want to see West Ham Millwall at the Olympic Stadium. We want to see West Ham Millwall at Millwall.
It seems like
that's what we want.
An East London derby.
That's what we want.
Yeah, we don't condone violence, obviously, on the show, but somebody getting stabbed.
I mean, it seems like 1 and 2 are pretty
far
much
and away
interchangeable.
Yeah.
With Burnley and Sheffield, but 10-point difference between 3rd and 16th.
Big shout out to Vincent Kompany. What he's doing with Burnley, they are playing expansive, good attacking football. Now, it's the kind of football that when you get promoted to the Premier League will get you relegated really fucking quickly back to the Championship, but it's the complete opposite of what Burnley has been forever. So I'm sure the supporters, like our boy Brighton, is probably fucking loving watching
for
his
sure.
club play right now.
I didn't tell you this, either one of you on the phone today at all. I accidentally offended a Welsh person today.
Ruh-roh. that is a person you do not want to offend.
No. So one of our stores,
They hurt you real bad.
is another salesman. One of our stores that we share, guy Jake that works there, was talking to me. He listens to the show, actually. Shout out. What up, bro?
Sup, fam?
He's supposed to be me, not you. Yo. So he was
What's his name?
Jake.
Fuck Jake.
So we were talking about the league and we're talking a little bit about the championship. I said, you see what Burnley's doing. So with Vincent Kompany coming in, and the segue was Everton potentially hiring Sean Dyche. And I said, speaking of that, you see what Burnley's doing. They got in a very odd managerial, not partnership, because Bellamy is his assistant, but they've got Vincent Kompany, who is a hard-nosed, staunch defender, and then the borderline psychopath Craig Bellamy is his assistant, and he's Welsh, and that's how I said it. So it sounded like Welsh people are psychopaths. Which is not how I meant it.
They kind of are.
But the guy that was standing there, the other salesman that was standing there, kind of eavesdropping on us, goes, "Yeah, I mean, we kind of can be." But then he just gave me a look, and I was like
a psychopath.
I didn't mean it like that, but that's how he took it, and it was quite funny. And I just kind of put my foot in my mouth for a minute. It's pretty good. So that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Rob, any parting words?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it,
being
as
here.
always. Next game, Everton Arsenal, February 4th. We should do something.
Yes.
Yeah, we should definitely do something.
That sounds like a February 4th. That's a Saturday?
Yeah.
I will lay my head on your laps and cry as you all pet me.
But you have nothing to pet.
You can still pet me.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
I can give you
We're
something
like Dr. Evil? I don't think so. That's weird.
Hey, big boy, I can give you something else.
I'll stroke your goat. I'll stroke your goat.
There we go. That a boy.
No, but I appreciate you guys having me on the show. It's always fun. And, yeah.
Dude, thank you for
Up the
coming
Arsenal.
in. Up the Arsenal. That's absolutely right. Sammy, any parting words?
Fucking Crowley Town's former manager. Did you see this bullshit?
I did, actually. That was sent to us by Mr. Brody, wasn't it?
You know about this manager from Crowley Town from last year? Okay, so he League Two side.
John Yems.
Yeah, so he he needed to have the darkies and the lighties be separated. He would call the Asian players
former
rice
Crawley Town
eaters.
manager John Yems believes he's owed an apology despite having committed 12 aggravated breaches of Football Association rules. Having called players in his squad, quote, curry munchers, end quote, quote, terrorists, end quote, and quote, Zulu warriors, end quote, among a range of other slurs, and they've banned him from football until June of 2024.
Hold on one second, Greg. One of the other accusations of him was that he hit him with the hard R. Looked right at
and made the black
the
players
quote-unquote
change in a
Zulu
different
warriors.
changing room.
Hit him with the hard R, and they couldn't. They're not good enough people to dress with their other teammates.
Dude's a prick.
Because wait for it. You know why he wants the apology?
Nobody told him it was racist to say that. I'll continue.
Why does somebody have to tell you that's fucking racist?
This is from The Guardian, this article.
He wants an apology. He wants an apology.
Here we go. Quoted from the Guardian article. In an unrepentant interview on TalkSport on Thursday, however, Yems downplayed the seriousness of the charges he faced and insinuated the original complaints had been manufactured by players who had grievances with him. Quoting him, the article states, "People out there are going to say what they're going to say. I'm saying to you, I wasn't found to be racist. I never used racist language with intent. If anyone is owed an apology, I think I do. All of the abuse I've been getting without people even having the courtesy to ask me. I don't think people have even looked at the case with open-mindedness. And I think if you go in there, there's a few apologies that should be coming my way." He went on to say, the things that I've done wrong have been highlighted to me, and it's shown me there are certain things you can't say or do. If that's the rules now, and
the rules
now,
them the rules now.
Them the rules now, and that's what you're supposed to do, then let people know. I didn't get the fucking memo.
I'll apologize to him. I'm sorry that you're a complete and utter fucking cunt.
Exactly.
Yes.
But for me, it's the intent of what has been said. I've not purposely gone out to say somebody X, Y, or Z purely because on the color of their skin.
No, you just put him in a different fucking dressing room, you fucking cunt. You fucking
prick.
cunt.
It's 2023. Jesus Christ.
Been trying to have us say D-back more because I understand the severity of that word. But when it comes to cunts like this, they need to be called cunts because they're racist fucking cunts.
It's absolutely
Wait,
ridiculous.
we're cutting out the C word for D-bag?
Well, we just say D-back instead. We're trying to. But no, you were fine by
You're
saying
good.
it. Trust
Don't
me.
worry
You
about
were
it.
fine by saying it.
Sue me.
No, you were perfectly fine because I just said it fucking 7 times.
Hey,
By the way,
nobody ever told me that one, okay?
he's a cunt, he's a cunt, he's a cunt, he's a cunt, he's a cunt. There, even doesn't. Fuck you.
Yeah. No one ever told me it wasn't okay to say that. That's all I'm saying. Fuckers.
I've said multiple times we're trying to lay off how many times we say the word cunt. Baker's dozen.
Perfect. We just got kicked out of our gig at the fucking Grand Ole Opry, though.
That would
You're only allowed 11 cunts.
that would be a great show title. Cunt 13, a baker's dozen. But we can't put that on.
Just call it a baker's dozen. That's funny. That's foreshadowing. That's roping them in, and then they have to stay and listen to the whole thing for why. Thank you all so much for joining us. Next up is Injury Time, where we review our beers we've been drinking on the side, preview the weekend's action. And Rob, how does one find Injury Time, if you wouldn't mind telling the good people?
Patreon.com / not / DU Football Show.
I think it is / I think I just fucking pushed the wrong button. Anyway.
He's the computer.
It's always /
He's the computer guy. We probably shouldn't argue it with him.
All right.
You can't even spell producer.
Producer.
Producer Sam.
Sorry, I went to PG County Public Schools. Also, by the way, you just threw me off. Go check out our brand new and improved Drip Shack and look at our link tree pinned to all of our social medias for all of those appropriate weeks. Till next week, everybody.
Bye.
Drip Shack.
Good night.
There's still a post to hit, dumbass.
I don't have anything else to say. You covered it all. And honestly, I couldn't have done anything better myself. It was well done.
You were okay.
I was good, I think.
Cunt.
Now we're more than a baker's dozen, jackass. Good night.
Bye.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Brown.